Now, I'm no expert on Lego, but can any of you tell what this is supposed to be? Hey everyone, so I'm back with some more pickups. I got a lot of weird, interesting, exciting things here, and a couple of strange things as well. A lot of toys for this pickup, and just a couple of video games. But before I get to any of those toys or video games, I'm going to start out with the one and only DVD that I got, and it is a movie that I haven't seen in a very long time. Even considering the last time that I saw this movie, I was approximately 8 or 9 years old, and it was extremely inappropriate at that time, and it's still kind of inappropriate for most people. It is Wild Things with Kevin Bacon, Neve Campbell, and Denise Richards. I think it was one of Denise Richards' earliest roles. She's not even credited on the cover of it, but it's a very steamy, sexual, thriller, weird kind of movie, but I very much so enjoyed it when I was younger. That could come off as sounding a little weird, but I really like this movie, and I really do like Neve Campbell. I especially loved her in all of the Scream movies. Very happy to see her throughout that series as well. Kind of sucks that she's not really in movies anymore, unless you count Scream 4. Moving on from there is the only graphic novel that I got. It is a graphic novel for Ghost World, and I still to this day have not actually ever seen the movie with Thora Birch and Scarlett Johansson. I've seen so many weird, crazy movies, and I've never actually bothered to see Ghost World, so maybe after giving the comic a shot, I'll also take a shot at the movie as well, but I'm still not too certain about that. Next up are a bunch of random toys that I got. I put them all in a Dollarama bag because I really didn't have anywhere to put these for now, but it's just a whole bunch of random shit here, and I just don't really know where to start. So I'm going to dump these out on the bed first, and I'll try to do my best here. Now, I don't know what some of this stuff is, and some of this stuff I've just held on to it because it seems somewhat interesting, and I got all this stuff from Value Village. I paid about $10 for all these things. Now, there were a couple more items that were in these bags of toys, but I threw them out already because either they were just complete fake garbage or dollar store stuff or McDonald's toys that I just really didn't care for, so I went ahead and threw them out. But this is all the rest of the stuff that I held on to. Now, it's not to say that I know what these things are necessarily, but they still seem somewhat interesting, so I held on to them. I suppose I'll start off with the things that I'm not too familiar with, and I'll leave the things that I'm most familiar with at the end. First up are all these random little metal and plastic figures. They're all knights on their horses, and a couple of just knights in weird poses. I have no idea what these would have been for, but they are still kind of interesting. They are made by a company called Deetail, that's D-E-E-T-A-I-L, and they were made in England in 1971, so they're definitely much older, and they seem, like I said, interesting, so at least I'm going to hold on to them and see if maybe I can trade them towards something else. But that's what they look like. There were a couple different ones. You have another one here with a kind of droopy lance, and then there were a couple other ones that are just stood up like that in a sort of action pose. If anybody knows what these go to, if they're part of some set or anything like that, just let me know in the comment section below. Next item, I'm not actually certain what this is from, but he seems to have X-Men, 90s X-Men toy coloring, where he has the blue and the yellow. I'm really not too certain what this guy is. This is what he looks like. He comes with this rubber robe. I think that he was a Burger King toy or a McDonald's toy. Not too certain about that. And he says Fox. It says Fox on the back of him as well. So if anybody recognizes who this guy is, just let me know in the comment section below. Moving on from there is this toy that I honestly really can't tell what it is supposed to be. I want to say that it might be Power Rangers or Super Sentai related somehow. It's made by Bandai, and the year on it is from 1993. He is missing his horn on the top of his head. It seems to have been cut off at some point, but this is what the toy looks like. He looks like his skin has been ripped off of his body and then replaced by a metal frame. So it looks really, really weird, and the top of his head looks like it's just an exposed brain. Just a very weird guy. I want to say that he's some kind of Super Sentai villain, but I'm really not too certain about that. But just let me know in the comment section below if you have any more information on this guy. I'm really asking you guys a lot this time if you have any more information on this stuff, because I kind of went overboard and bought stuff I'm not too familiar with. But the items here, the next few toys I'm going to show you guys are things that I'm somewhat more familiar with. First is this toy here of Gorilla Grodd. Now I don't actually know what he would have come from, if it was part of a toy set, or what toy line exactly he is from, but it seemed like a nice enough figure, and it reminds me of the way that he looked like in the Justice League TV show. Very nice and in pretty good condition. Just a little bit of paint wear on the front of him there, on his face, primarily around his lips and his eyebrows, which is just kind of weird, but yeah, otherwise he's in fairly good condition and fairly posable as well, as posable as a gorilla really can be. The next toy that I got here is this Pokemon toy that I'm not quite remembering the name of. I think it's supposed to be Go-Goat, or maybe it's his evolution. That's him right there. It's a fairly decently sized toy. And he has this action feature where if you press on his back legs, his front legs move as well. And this guy is actually made by Tomy, I think? Yeah, Tomy. But if I remember correctly, most recent Pokemon toys, at least in North America, have been made by Jakks Pacific. It is a fairly good quality toy, and I do like that they have made attempts to cover the screw holes wherever they're most obvious, like wherever they stick out the most. Moving on from that Pokemon toy are the last toys I'm going to show you guys for this video before I get to the video games at the end. Now, this was a big purchase. It ended up costing me $40 for these, and I'm still questioning whether or not that was a good idea. It is a bunch of Lego. I am not the most familiar with Lego, not too certain what pricing is like, but definitely for some larger sets the price can be crazy. And now these pieces here, there are at least, I want to say there were 5 or 6 minifigures in there, and there seems to be figures from at least 3 or 4 distinct different sets, including some Star Wars sets. But it's really hard for me to judge at this time what is actually in here. Now, the main reason why I bought it is because I saw some parts that looked like they belonged to an Imperial Walker or the AT-AT. So that kind of pushed me towards buying these specific Legos. And now they did have lots of other bags of Legos. They were also mixed with Mega Bloks and a couple of other brick building sets. I got this one bag that had a bunch of Legos and definitely a lot of gray colored ones that seem to belong to at least 1 or 2 different Star Wars sets, and then a couple of other sets. Since I got them though, I tried splitting them up to see what's what. Couldn't really figure it out. This is all that there was. You might be able to see some random things in there, like this giant plastic sheet that actually belongs to a sort of Native American set that has a large canoe and a teepee that goes with it. This plastic sheet here actually wraps around and forms a teepee, which is kind of an interesting thing to see for Legos. And there were just a bunch of other random pieces that I still haven't been able to sort of make any sense of, but I'm going to try to see how many sets there are in here and what pieces are missing from those sets to see if I can try to complete any of these sets. Moving on from those toys are the video games that I got, and honestly I did not get many video games, but the 2 games that I got are pretty interesting. First one here is a game that I already have. I've had multiple copies of this game. I just, at this point, tend to grab it if it's cheap enough because I know that I'll be able to at least trade it or sell it. And the game that I'm talking about is Mario Kart Wii. Now, this is by no means one of my top Mario Kart games. I think my most favorite Mario Kart games are definitely 8 on the Switch and the Wii U, because I will lump those two together. And I tend to exclude Mario Kart Wii and Double Dash. Just for some reason, I've never been able to really get into those versions of Mario Kart. And then the older ones, I have rarely played those ones, so I really don't have much experience with them. But Mario Kart, at least this one here, I got it from the thrift store down the street from me, and it was just $5. So definitely for $5 into it, I can get at least $15 to $20 cash, and probably a little bit more than that in trade credit. And the last game that I got here, I got this from EB Games. I saw it brand new, and I liked the previous game in this series a lot. They even remastered that game for the PS4, and I did purchase that. But this one here, I have not had a chance to play it yet. In fact, you can see that it is still sealed. I also managed to get one of these Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy Aku Aku keychains. I did not actually pre-order the game, and I have not picked up the game yet, but I am planning on picking up the game soon enough. Probably after my next pay, I'll go ahead and pick that up. But in the meantime, I was definitely going to get this because I feel like this might be a little difficult to find. It is Valkyria Revolution, the Vanguard Edition, which includes an exclusive Vanguard pin, which you can see right on the front of it right there, and a 12-song soundtrack. So definitely soundtrack is enough for me. I really do like video game soundtracks when they include physical versions of the soundtrack with the release of the game itself. I really do like when they include physical bonuses with a game rather than just a digital DLC bonus. DLC bonuses are just negligible to me, at least. But again, very happy to have this game, and hopefully once I've calmed down with playing more Final Fantasy XIV since Stormblood came out, hopefully I'll be able to get to this game sometime soon. There are a couple of PS4 games that I have on my backlog that I need to give some attention to. So hopefully I can get to Valkyria Revolution soon enough. It's pretty much near the top of my playlist right now. But that's what I got. As always, leave comments in the comment section below. Anything you'd like to say, comments, questions, suggestions, ideas, anything at all, just put it in the comment section below and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Check out my Facebook, Twitter, and website. They're all linked in the description below. And also linked in the description below is a link to my 500 subscribers contest. Check that out as well if you'd like. And that's it. See ya.